Hello there. What do you do if an ad or even your entire ad account stops performing? If it used to be profitable and suddenly it is tanking? There's a number of things you can do. So here's a chart of how ad performance typically works for new ads that I launch. So typically it'll be slightly profitable at the start. Occasionally I'll have something that isn't profitable that will turn to profitable over time, but usually you see some positive signs right away. As it goes through the learning phase and as it optimizes for purchases, performance will go up a little bit, and then it'll work for a period of time and then slowly stop working. And a number of things contribute to this. This can be audience size. If it's a smaller audience, it will often kind of plateau and go down a little bit quicker because it kind of has its pick. If you have 1 million people, it's trying to find the very best people to show it to. And once you've shown it to 3%, 10%, 40%, all of a sudden it's not showing it to as high quality of people. It also depends a lot how much you are spending each day. If you're spending like $20 a day, it could perform for quite a while. Whereas if it's like $1,000 a day, you could churn through the audience a lot more quickly. So what can you do when it starts going down? Occasionally you can duplicate it and just have it optimized again, and that'll actually work. You can also show it to a brand new audience, or if you just did the US, you can show it to a different country. I generally keep countries separate, so different campaign for each country. They just kind of optimize differently and are slightly different customers. You can also show it to the same audience, but change up the headline, change up the body text. If it's a photo or a video where you have actual text at the top, you can change out what that text is. Or if it's a video, you can actually kind of tweak the edit and make some slight adjustments, and you can still show it to the same audience. If you're doing a different audience, you want to think about making it as catered to that audience as possible. So if it's people who like organic food, you'd want a little different words than the more general audience for that. Okay, so let's talk about if your entire ad account stops performing. If all your ads are kind of tanking or going down or aren't as profitable. There's a number of things that can contribute to that and a bunch of things that you can do. So actually quarterly earnings, I found at the end of Facebook's quarters, my ad performance goes down. It really feels like Facebook increases the costs. And then once that quarter is over, it returns a little bit more so to normal. You want to be really familiar with what's going on in the market. So you can study stocks, but also like the Facebook market, how many people are advertising, especially in your industry, who you're competing with. You are bidding against other people. So are they spending a whole lot? Is there a big push? Often, if it's like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it'll be way more competitive. There's more people advertising, they're spending a lot more. Your costs are going to be way up. So for times like these, I find these are a really good time to advertise to past customers, to people really familiar with your brand or who visited your checkout page or things like that, because people are really in a buying state and they're more likely to buy during like Black Friday, but it's so expensive reaching a whole bunch of people. So I hardly ever do any advertising to brand new people, like cold audiences, during these big sale times because it's incredibly expensive. There are also different days of the week or months of the year where ad costs just tend to be higher or performance is lower. This will really depend on the industry and what you're selling. So your goal is to outcompete all of your competitors. And there's a number of things you want to focus on doing this. I actually have an ebook I created that goes a lot more in depth in how to optimize these, and it has actually a bunch of email templates and stuff like that. I'll have a link down to that below. The first one is click-through rate. So tweaking your audiences and ads, trying to get more people to click. That will make your money go a lot further because more people are on the page. Add to cart or the whole checkout process on the page, I found you can make huge improvements here by doing split testing, testing different pages. I recommend using a tool like Hotjar so you can actually see how people interact with the page, and that will give you ideas for how you can improve it and make the checkout simple and just the right amount of information for people, trying to get people to that purchase page. I found this is where you can make the biggest level of improvement. I took one website from 1% of people making a purchase to 7%. So definitely focus a lot of time on that split testing. I generally try to have at least 50 to 100 people taking that action. Then it's statistically significant enough that I know this one won and is the better option. When people fill out their information on the website, you'll often send abandoned cart emails like, hey, you left something in your cart. So I definitely think it's worth testing what those include, the words that you use, how many you send. I usually have found 2 emails is the sweet spot, where it's extra reminders but not annoying people. But some people do 3 or 4 or 5 emails reminding people about what's in their cart. But you can split test those emails you send people, keep track of how many people are completing checkout. So you want that landing and checkout page to be really solid, but also your whole checkout process. Make sure a high % of people are actually finishing that purchase, and see if there's any reason that people are getting tripped up and not completing checkout. Retargeting ads are incredibly important. I do a lot of testing with retargeting, people who visited certain pages, took specific actions. Maybe they like you on Facebook or Instagram. So I found a lot of boost in performance by just tweaking those quite a bit. After people make a purchase, or if they give you their email for a discount, you definitely want to dial in that email sequence and actually be split testing those different emails and what's included, and tracking how many people are making purchases based off of those emails. So that's another free way that you can drive more purchases. And the average order value is huge, the average amount that people spend when they go to your store. So you can have different bundles, different upsells, things that people also bought, or on the thank you page have different offers that you offer people. So getting people to add more to their cart, spend more on your store. Maybe you can offer a subscription option or something like that. Just trying to boost how much money you make per customer means you can spend more to get in front of people, which also means that you can deal with rising ad costs quite a bit. Facebook is an auction and you're bidding against similar buyers. So if you can be the one who is able to spend more money to get a new customer, you can really outcompete all of your competition. You can really deal with rising Facebook ad costs. And sometimes you can even, by being able to spend way more, kind of push out your competition. Some people actually use a Facebook strategy where they bid crazy high amounts, where everyone else kind of turns off their Facebook ads, or they push out everyone else and then they decrease it over time. So being able to spend more money to get a new customer, to get a sale, is also incredibly important. I hope a lot of businesses increase their profitability and deal with rising ad costs or a dip in performance. You can learn more about that on my website down below. Also, check out that ebook. It's got actionable tips on precisely how to implement each one of these. Also, I did a video on the best Facebook audience sizes. This is something you really have to see because it can help you out so much. So a link to that is going to pop up right over there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you in that audience size video.